Hello, I'm Sabrina Roshan. I'm the Chief Impact Officer at Good Machine. And like everyone else, we're a venture studio, not a startup. At Good Machine, we believe that the solutions to the world's most pressing problems are in sustainable marketplace ventures. All right, so Good Machine is a new kind of studio. We say that we're at the intersection of disruptive technology, symbiotic capital, inspired humans. We're building solutions for a better world. And I'll get into the details of what we mean by symbiotic capital. I don't think you need many details about what we mean by inspired humans, because there are a lot of them in this room. So, our vision, a thriving, interconnected world where all life is supported through invention. Our mission statement, empowering diverse communities with tools that increase their agency in a sustainable future. What do we mean by this? Our inventions are not going to be top-down. Everything from design to monitoring to measuring impact is going to be community-driven. This is not going to be something that is built, or we're not going to have inventions that are built by folks in Silicon Valley without us actually understanding the needs, the desires, the issues, the concerns of the communities that we're working with. So what Good Machine is dealing with, in addition to sort of the big picture global challenges, and the big picture global challenges that I do want to talk about before we get into the core entrepreneurial challenges are that, we're at a point in our history where we have an unprecedented number of folks who are now forcibly displaced. In fact, over the last 20 years, the numbers of people, according to the United Nations, who are forcibly displaced has doubled. We're at a very, very critical juncture in our global history in terms of corruption, in terms of conflict, and in terms of climate change. That overlaid with these core entrepreneurial challenges allows Good Machine to address the big picture with sort of the day-to-day work that we're going to do through implementation of these inventions. So those global challenges are going to be addressed through our solutions to the entrepreneurial challenges. So on entrepreneurial challenges, risk. Generally, underrepresented communities, I, being a member of that community as a woman of color, are risk averse. We are very, very scared of taking the plunge and jumping in to the startup world. We're supposed to put everything back and put all of our cards on the deck and hope that it works out. Number two, it's complex, building something that works. And the number three is support. Traditional venture does not support social enterprise. So before I get into how we're going to address those core entrepreneurial challenges, I want to go through what Good Machine actually does. We prototype, we incubate, and we launch companies. These companies are all built in-house by our team. In terms of how we address the challenges, so we talked about risk. How do you get underrepresented communities, entrepreneurs, to actually work in this sector? You do it by ensuring that they're paid at a market-based rate. You do it by giving them meaningful work. I'm a great example of this. I have done it. I've joined Good Machine to do this kind of work. And our goal is to ensure that the companies that we are building are supported by, are led by other members of communities that we don't necessarily see in Silicon Valley. Number two. Back. Number two. We talked about the complexity. It's hard to build something that works. It's hard to give it all. Put all your eggs in one basket. So we're using a rapid prototyping approach. So we're going to quickly assess the sort of viability and the risks of opportunities, figure out what works, and take it to market. In terms of support to scale, we're not just going to have a traditional venture fund. We're also going to accelerate through debt. And I want to go through a little bit of the details of what we mean by symbiotic capital. Earlier, I talked about our humans and our symbiotic capital. By symbiotic capital, what we mean is that early in the life cycle of a company, the studio and the fund will have a greater equity allocation. However, with subsequent fundraising, we will be liquidating a portion of our stake, allowing the venture fund to maintain evergreen capital well before there are any conclusive exits. So, our team, we have an amazing team. We have a team of folks who have successfully run other venture studios. We have a team of people who have successfully run other startups. We have folks from the public sector. We have folks from the private sector. We have folks who have worked and lived with communities who are going to be affected by our inventions. I want to quickly go through three of our sort of initial prototyping efforts. So the first is related to building cold storage facilities. And this is to address food security, value, loss, and waste. And just as an example, in the fishery sector alone, 1/4 of consumable fish in this world is lost on an annual basis due to wastage. And so we're going to be using technology to address these real challenges that have real solutions. And for us to be able to take these solutions to market, that's going to change the world. Second, ocean plastics at the ground level. We are going, we know that there are a lot of people in this space, but what we are doing is incentivizing human behavior to actually address this problem by creating jobs. And we're going to do this by focusing on plastics before they actually end up in our oceans. Finally, creating a scalable method to plant heat-resistant corals to rejuvenate dying reefs. Clearly, there are tons of impacts on our biodiversity, on fisheries, on tourism, on tons and tons and tons and tons of things that a lot of people here can talk to you about. And we're doing that using technology. And so that's us. That's Good Machine. Together, let's do good. And let's do well. And if you want to talk to us, we'll be upstairs next to Pelagic Data Systems.